In life, we are constantly faced with situations where our emotions are triggered, whether it's by a challenge, an insult, or a conflict that arises unexpectedly. Our initial reaction may be to defend ourselves, to fight back against perceived injustice, or to prove that we are right. It is only human to want to protect our dignity and self-worth in the face of adversity. However, it is equally important to recognize that not every confrontation requires a response, not every criticism demands a rebuttal, and not every argument is worth engaging in. There is great power in choosing not to react. When we respond impulsively to every challenge or negative comment, we are giving away our emotional energy. Each confrontation, no matter how minor, requires an emotional investment. Whether we are defending our character, explaining ourselves, or reacting to someone else's words or actions, we are unknowingly draining our emotional reserves. Over time, this constant engagement in unnecessary conflicts leaves us feeling exhausted and emotionally depleted. We spread ourselves thin, addressing issues that, in the grand scheme of things, have no real bearing on our well-being or personal growth. Choosing not to engage in every battle allows us to preserve our mental and emotional energy. When we respond to every insult or criticism, we are putting our focus on things that ultimately do not serve our higher purpose. Our minds and hearts become entangled in trivial issues that only distract us from our personal growth, our goals, and the things that truly matter to us. These small conflicts, though they may seem significant in the moment, often fade into insignificance with time. And yet, by engaging with them, we lose precious time and energy that could have been better spent on things that promote our well-being and progress. There is wisdom in learning to disengage. Sometimes our first instinct is to respond, to clarify, or to defend ourselves. It can be challenging to resist the urge to explain our actions or to prove that we are right, but in many cases, this urge leads us into a cycle of defense that only increases stress and perpetuates negativity. Responding out of a need to justify ourselves rarely leads to resolution. Instead, it feeds into the negativity of the situation, allowing it to grow rather than dissipate. The more we engage with these provocations, the more we reinforce them, and the more they take a toll on our emotional and mental health. It's important to understand that many of the challenges we face, whether they come from individuals who criticize us, challenge our beliefs, or insult us, are often a reflection of their own frustrations, insecurities, or unresolved issues. They may not fully understand or appreciate the situation, and their words or actions may be driven by motives that have nothing to do with us. Engaging in such battles only gives them power over us, allowing them to dictate how we feel and react. But when we choose not to respond, we take back control. We no longer allow others to shape our emotions or disrupt our peace. By choosing silence, we protect our mental peace, we protect our emotional energy, and we protect our sense of self-worth. Not every challenge, not every insult, not every disagreement is worth our time, our emotional investment, or our energy. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. When we stop reacting, we stop allowing others to control how we feel. This is an empowering realization. It is a reminder that we are in charge of our emotions, and we have the power to choose our responses or choose not to respond at all. Moreover, when we stop engaging with negativity, we free ourselves to focus on the things that truly matter in our lives. Our personal growth, our relationships, our goals, and our well-being should take priority over petty arguments or meaningless conflicts. If we allow ourselves to be constantly drawn into every battle, we risk losing sight of what truly brings us fulfillment and peace. The key to a fulfilling life lies not in constantly fighting for validation or recognition, but in knowing when to disengage and when to invest our energy in things that align with our values and aspirations. When we choose not to react, we also choose to focus our energy on self-care. Self-care is not just about taking time for relaxation or indulgence. It is about protecting our mental, emotional, and physical health. Engaging in constant conflict or overextending ourselves in relationships that drain us does not serve our well-being. By setting boundaries and choosing not to engage with negativity, we are practicing self-care. We are honoring our need for peace, clarity, and emotional well-being. Sometimes choosing peace over pride is a key component in avoiding unnecessary conflict. Our egos can often be a stumbling block, pushing us to defend our honor, our beliefs, or our sense of right and wrong. But engaging out of pride often escalates the situation rather than resolving it. The more we fight for dominance or validation, the more entrenched we become in a cycle of escalation. By stepping back and refusing to engage, we rise above the petty power struggles that drain us. We maintain our dignity and protect our emotional health by not getting caught in the need to be right. Choosing not to fight every battle requires discernment and wisdom. We must learn to assess each situation with clarity, recognizing when it's better to walk away than to engage in a futile argument. Sometimes, what feels like a personal attack or injustice is simply the projection of another person's unresolved issues. Their actions have little to do with us, and engaging with them only allows their problems to become our own. By choosing to disengage, we avoid getting entangled in their emotional turmoil. Not every person or situation deserves our attention or emotional investment. Some people may challenge us for the sake of validation, drama, or control. They may provoke us simply to see how we will react. In these cases, responding only feeds their need for attention and prolongs the negativity. By refusing to engage, we take away their power and stop the cycle of drama. We do not owe anyone our emotional energy if their actions or words do not contribute positively to our lives. Sometimes silence and disengagement are the best course of action because they allow situations to resolve themselves naturally. Many conflicts that seem urgent or important in the moment tend to fade with time. By stepping back and waiting to see how things unfold, we can often avoid unnecessary stress and preserve our peace. Patience is an essential quality that allows us to gain perspective and not be bogged down by transient problems. By choosing to fight only the battles that truly matter, we ensure that we conserve our energy for the things that align with our values and aspirations. This is not about avoiding conflict altogether, but about choosing when it is truly worth our emotional investment. We must ask ourselves whether the conflict at hand will contribute to our growth or bring us closer to our goals, or whether it is merely a distraction that will take us off course. Ultimately, learning not to fight every battle is about prioritizing our peace, our energy, and our well-being. It is about recognizing that not every challenge is worth responding to, not every opinion requires a rebuttal, and not every conflict is worth our time. By disengaging from trivial disputes, we create space for what truly matters in our lives. We focus on our growth, our relationships, and our goals. We conserve our energy for the things that nourish us rather than draining ourselves in unnecessary battles. When we understand the value of silence and disengagement, we are better able to set boundaries that protect our emotional and mental health. Boundaries are crucial for maintaining a sense of balance and well-being. By setting boundaries, we can choose where to invest our emotional energy and where to conserve it. This is not about shutting people out or being dismissive, but about recognizing that we have the right to protect ourselves from negativity and to focus on what is truly important.